Today I will be talking to you about the methodology teaching by components of creative movement. I chose this methodology because I approach the majority of my dance classes with this method because it provides my students with the ability to create and express through movement. We got a taste of it from Marianne, and I would like to take us deeper into the method. All physical activity involves the elements of the body: time, space, and energy. These elements, which are used automatically in everyday activities, are also the foundation used to build creative movement and creative dance experiences. None of the elements operate independently, but a teacher can select and emphasize one element at a time for teaching purposes. This procedure helps direct and limit the goals of a lesson. By recognizing ways to select individual movement topics, the teacher will not be overwhelmed by too many elements at one time. What one might discover, though, is that after only a few lessons, a never-ending movement combination of these elements will be provided. I will introduce the elements of creative movement, the fundamental movements, and the ways to develop a series of creative movement activities. To give a brief history of the creative dance approach, creative dance was originally pioneered by Isadora Duncan. She broke away from ballet form and is considered to be the mother of creative dance. Duncan, as well as other pioneers of modern dance like Martha Graham and Merce Cunningham, created the elements of creative dance and broke the traditional ballet standards. Dance education didn't exist outside of the private studio setting until 1926 when Mary H. Dubler created the first University of Dance program at the University of Wisconsin. Eventually, in 1965, the National Endowment for the Arts and Humanities was formed, allowing the dance programs to begin in schools. First thing is the elements of creative movement. The elements of movement include body, time, space, and energy. The first element is body. The body is the instrument or tool used to express an idea, thought, or feeling. The body can be divided into the following two categories: inner body and outer body. Inner body is the parts of the body such as the heart, lungs, and other organs which are in constant motion and operate most of the time without our conscious awareness. Outer parts of the body such as the head, shoulder, arms, hands, fingers, torso, legs, feet, and toes, which usually take some conscious effort to move. Movement ideas are expressed by the use of body parts, surfaces like our front, back, and sides, and shapes formed by the body. The next element is time. Time properties include all of the various ways that emphasis and duration are measured or observed in creative movement. Time is described in the following ways: tempo, how fast or slow the movement is performed; beat, the continuous sound of the underlying rhythm like a heartbeat; accent, a stronger beat within a rhythmic pattern; duration, the length of each beat or pattern; rhythmic patterns, a combination of tempo, beat, accent, and duration. The next element is space. Space is concerned with two general dimensions and a set of spatial elements. The first is personal space, and the next is general space. Personal space extends in any direction as far as an individual can bend, stretch, or reach. General space includes the classroom, gymnasium, or playground where the movement activities take place. Spatial elements include direction, forward, sideward, backward, diagonal; level, high, medium, and low; range, near and far; size, big and little; pathway, curved, straight, or angular; shape, narrow, wide, angular, circular, straight; and focus, the direction in which your eyes are looking. The final element is energy. Energy is used in every movement and is categorized in terms of weak to strong, sharp to smooth, and heavy to light. The amount of energy expended in a movement demonstrates force or lack of force. According to Marcia Lloyd, all movement can be altered by changes in energy depending on the attack, sharp or smooth, the weight, heavy or light, the strength, tight or loose, and the flow, free-flowing, bound, or in balance. A part of energy is flow. Flow is connected with energy because of the use of force when the movement occurs. The body is either free-flowing, bound, or in balance. Free-flowing movements are continuous, ongoing, and fluid. Stopping is difficult with free-flowing movements. Bound movements are controlled, balanced, and restrained. Stopping is easy with bound movements. Balance indicates a position that is located between free and flowing and bound movements. Continuing on with creative dance, the next part is fundamental movements. Fundamental movements of the body in motion include non-locomotor and locomotor movements. Non-locomotor movements are performed on a stationary base. The person is standing or sitting in one place. These are also known as axial movements because the movements are performed around the axis of a body. Examples of non-locomotor movements are bending, bringing body parts closer together, stretching, full extension of any body part, twisting, rotation of a body part or the whole body, turning, rotation of the whole body, rising, moving the body from a lower to a higher position, falling, moving the body from a higher position to a lower position, swinging, moving part of the body in an arc or circle, pushing, moving a body part away from the center, pulling, moving a body part toward the center of the body. The next fundamental movement is locomotor movements. Locomotor movements are performed on a moving base and take the body through space from one place to another. Locomotor movements include walking, stepping from one foot to the other, weight being transferred from heel to toe, running, similar to walking except that the weight is carried forward over the ball of the foot with a spring-like action, leaping, a transfer of weight from one foot to the other foot, push off with a spring and land on the ball of the foot, letting the heel come down and the knee bend to absorb the shock. Jumping, one or both feet leave the floor, knees bending, both return to the floor together. Hopping, a transfer of weight by springing action from one foot to the same foot. Skipping, a step hop on the same foot in a quick, slow, quick rhythm, alternating feet. Galloping, moving forward diagonally with a step, close pattern. The same foot leads each pattern and the other foot follows. And finally, sliding. It is a step, close pattern. The same foot leads the pattern and the other foot follows. Locomotor movements can also be divided in even and uneven rhythmic patterns. Even rhythmic patterns are performed to a steady, regular beat. The patterns can be counted such as 1, 2, 3, 4. The rhythmic pattern could be a walk, run, hop, leap, or jump. Uneven rhythmic patterns combine a long beat with a short beat. An uneven pattern would sound something like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, the number being the long beat and the and being the short beat. An uneven pattern could be for a skip, slide, gallop, or a combination of the movements. After one has a basic understanding of the building blocks used to create creative dance, they can develop a series of creative movement activities. One way to begin creating a series is to explore each of the elements, time, space, energy, and body, separately, although all of the elements work together in combination with each other. Start with one simple idea. For example, explore how many different ways one body part such as the arm can move. Begin asking the students questions like, how many different directions can you move one arm? How fast or slow can you move one arm? Can you make that same arm swing forward, backward, and in a circle? Now can you try moving your other arm fast and then slow and swing it forward, backward, and in a circle? In this list of questions, the arm was the main body element to be explored, while the elements of space, time, and energy were also explored. You could expand this activity by adding another body part such as a leg, knee, or foot. Explore the movement of body parts individually and then in a combination. The addition of other elements will continually challenge the creative potential of both the teacher and the student and keep the movement activity fresh and alive. Combining non-locomotor movements with locomotor movements, a rhythmic pattern can be created and eventually evolve into a movement composition. For example, a basic pattern can be created that combines the following movements: 4 walks, 2 stretches, 2 bends and stretches, 4 hops, 1 twist, and 1 turn. A number of decisions must be made as the movement pattern is created. Problems must be solved concerning the use of the body, space, time, and energy. The students can make many choices, either as a group or individually. The teacher can begin by making suggestions and then allowing the students to create their own ways of performing the pattern. An example I created is, everyone take 4 walking steps forward around your own circle. Stop and stretch one arm very slowly, then stretch the other arm very slowly. Bend and stretch one knee very fast, bend and stretch one elbow very fast. Hop 4 times in any direction you choose without bumping into anyone. Stop and twist your whole body into a very low shape. Hold that shape so that everyone can look at all of the low shapes in the room. Take one full turn of the body and freeze in place. This pattern can be practiced a few times until the students are familiar with the movement. Then it can be changed or extended in the following ways. Repeat the entire pattern twice in exactly the same way. Perform the pattern in the order in which it appears, then perform the pattern in reverse order. Mix the order of the pattern. Allow the students to suggest changes in the pattern. In summary, I presented the components of creative movement, the elements of body, time, space, and energy, and the fundamental movements, non-locomotor and locomotor. Ways to combine movements were also suggested, and a beginning movement pattern that used non-locomotor movements and locomotor movements was presented. You can expand on these elements to create more movement activities that will further challenge and expand the skills and abilities of your students. I chose this method because I believe it is essential to any student's understanding of dance, and I believe it is the best way for a beginner to understand and practice dance.